Hey, this is Daniel from Adorama. Today we're at my studio in New York City, and we're going to talk a little bit about working with manual flashes. So I have these Flashpoint lithium-ion speed lights, which are completely manual flashes. They're one reason why you might have these is because they're less expensive. You might also pick up some older flashes that are TTL, let's say, from film cameras, so they don't work with the digital camera, and you need to work with them in a manual setting. So here we are, I have it up on the stand, and I could just randomly start shooting to figure out an exposure, but the better way is to use what's called the guide number. Every small flash has a guide number assigned to it, and it works like this. You basically divide the guide number by the distance, and that's your aperture. So with this particular flash, with the flash head zoom to 105 millimeters, the guide number is 112 at 10 feet. So if I put my flash, this is at full power of course, if I put my flash 10 feet away, roughly, and I have the head zoom to 105 millimeters, I should be right around f11. So let's try. And yeah, that's a pretty well exposed photo. So that's gonna give me a really good idea. Just so you know too, because we're in a big bright studio right now, f11 at 1/160th of a second is gonna give me, if the flash doesn't fire at all, is gonna give me no light at all in this space. So essentially if I take my radio off and I just take a picture, black frame. So all that light was coming from the flash, and I was able to set that up, again, without having to take 20 pictures, without having to figure it out. I just put it 10 feet away. Okay, so maybe a bare flash is not gonna give you the exact look that you wanna have, so you might wanna add a modifier to it. Here's where experience comes in. I know that using an umbrella, it eats about 2 stops of light, roughly. So if I add an umbrella to my flash, I'm gonna open up my aperture about 2 stops and give myself a starting base. So I'm gonna go from f11. This is a silver umbrella, so I might actually go only 1 stop. So I'm gonna go f8. Silver umbrella is gonna give you a lot more reflectance. Okay, so that's pretty close, but I can see it's a little bit dark. Now what I could do is just start taking a few pictures and see it till it looks good to my eye, but I may not trust the screen on my camera so much, and maybe I'm in bright light where it's hard to see. So a better option is to use something like this Photech Digital Target, which we've used before to set white balance, and it's really good for exposure as well. Essentially you have black, gray, and white. This is gonna allow me to get a good histogram. I'll show you how we do that. So if I have Dave hold it in front of the model, the key here is you wanna put it in the light that the model's gonna be in, and you wanna fill the entire frame with it. So I'm just gonna come in and get equal amounts of white, gray, lower it a little bit, white, gray, and black. I'll photograph it, it doesn't have to be in focus, and then I'll look at my histogram, and I can see from my histogram that it's a little bit to the left. So that means I'm a tiny bit underexposed. So what I do now is, I make an adjustment. I'm gonna go to, I'm gonna open up 1/3 of a stop, I'm gonna photograph it again, and now this histogram is right dead center. That means I have a good exposure. Now I know my exposure set. So at 7.1, I'm gonna come back to my original position, and now we have a nice, well-exposed photo of Marissa, and with the umbrella, it's a much nicer light than just a bare flash by itself. So let's say I want to spice this up a little bit. I have a second flash over there. What I can do is, we'll turn that one on. We know now that we're shooting at a 7.1, right? So we can take this flash, we'll zoom the head out, like we did before, but now he's only about 5 feet away. So that's gonna give me, if I divide 112 by 5, it's gonna be around f22, right? So f22 to 7.1, that's gonna be way too bright for my hair light. So we can then turn that down. So luckily for me, I can control it from here. So if I'm by myself, I don't have to keep running back and forth several times. So all my flashes are on the same channel, but the original umbrella light was on group 8. The other one's on group 9. So if I switch to 9, I can just control my back flash. So I'm essentially going to bring it down to, again, at 1:1, I'm gonna be around f22. So if I bring it down 1 full stop, that'll be f16. And if I bring it down 2 full stops, that'll be around f11, which should be a good ratio for a hair light. Let's see what that looks like. Boom. And now I have a nice kind of glamorous, dramatic hair light. I can make it more subtle as well, depending on what I wanna do here. It really kind of depends on the look you're going for, but that's pretty nice with 2 speed lights, and I was able to set it up not using a light meter and pretty quickly. Okay, so I hope this helped. If you have any questions about guide numbers or how this works, just put them below and I'll answer any questions that come up. Thanks for watching. Be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel, and I'll see you next time on set.